My name is Joy Jimenez, and I am a writer in residence for Gemini Inc.'s Partner Workshops. This is part 2 of our quarantine list poem lesson. Please make sure that you've watched part 1 and know what quarantine means and what the 5 senses are. We're using our 5 senses to help us write our list. In part 1, we brainstormed and did a body check to notice some of the things we've been experiencing while sheltering in place. Let's keep investigating. Let's use our sensory memory to gather more items for our list. I recommend sitting in a spot where you can focus for a few minutes. Once you've found your spot, we can begin. Close your eyes, take a breath, and relax. And now we're going to remember all the things we've experienced since we've been staying at home, sheltering in place. Try to focus in on sensory details, like smells and colors and textures. Is something smooth or rough, hard or soft? What are some of the things that you experienced that really stand out in your memory? I remember all the hours I spent on the computer trying to learn how to teach online. I also remember how happy I felt when I saw my friends' faces through video chat because I missed them so much. And I remember searching for a hand sanitizer. Pause this video now and write down the things you remember on your mind map. Finally, we're going to do a walkabout to explore our environment. Sometimes we don't even notice what's around us because it's just so familiar to us. Take your writing utensil and your brainstorming cluster with you. A good place to start is the kitchen. What things can you hear, smell, and taste right now in your kitchen? Remember, we want to find those things that are unique to our situation. Are you eating more of something now? Are you eating less of something now? Is there a favorite food that you've been eating during this time, or something that you've had to eat that you really don't like eating? 2 essentials for our house has been pickles with every meal because they just make the meal taste better, and sparkling water. I think sparkling water is how I find that little bit of pizzazz every day. Don't forget to go outside if that's a place that you spend a lot of time in. One of the things that I started doing is gardening, so I'll be adding that to my list. I feel the soil in my garden. I see brand new plants coming up from the earth. Don't forget to listen to the sounds that you hear. We've done it. We've gathered items for our quarantine list by paying attention to sensory details. Now we're going to write our first draft. We've made it so easy for ourselves by already gathering everything we need. Look at your items on your mind map and decide what order you would like to list them in. You could arrange them from the things that you feel are more negative to the things you feel are more positive. You could do it in order of importance. You could also, of course, arrange them by senses. In fact, you could let each sense have its own stanza. You can also order them by how they sound. You'll find that some items sound really good next to other items. Decide which items you want to include on your list. You might want to include all the items, but you might not. This is your quarantine list poem, and you get to decide what's included in it. As you're writing, you might think of other things that you've experienced, so feel free to write them in your draft. Pause the video and do this now. Hey, you're back already. That was pretty fast. I wrote mine pretty fast as well. Here's my list poems so far, and knowing me, I'll probably re-edit and change things around. And I tried to finish off the poem with the line that was important to me. Quarantine is singing songs while hand washing and eyeballing 6 feet apart. The smell of Lysol and hand sanitizer and foggy glasses from my hand-sewn face mask. Quarantine is the damp soil of my first garden, green herbs in small pots, orange carrots in our homemade chicken soup, mediocre homemade food instead of mediocre takeout, sour pickles at every meal because they make everything taste better. Quarantine is finally cleaning out the fridge and so many dishes. Quarantine is missing the sight of my friends' faces and long days learning new teaching tools, an achy back and tired eyes, Google Classrooms and endless Zoom calls, and can you hear me now? And you need to unmute yourself. Quarantine is the sound of humans finding new ways to reach out and stay connected. The happiness of seeing friends' faces on a screen. Quarantine is the sound of TikTok and Roblox and my son laughing. The pleasure of our favorite breakfast at night and having our snacks for breakfast. It's binge watching Netflix until I might as well get up and do something. Quarantine is the time to read a book, to have a few extra snuggles and pet the cats, a chance to say hi to the neighbors, and watch my son become more confident on his bike. It's the sound of birds singing and squawking in the trees, in my yard all day long, and discovering the heavenly light of the golden hour that I had never been home to see. If you'd like to share your quarantine list poem, you can do so in the comments below. If you'd like to check out more writing prompts, visit Gemini Inc.'s YouTube channel. Thanks for writing with me. Bye.